All right, today we're talking about how to live a frictionless life, and quick clarification, a frictionless life doesn't necessarily mean living a comfortable life. It means living a life with momentum, and life needs to have momentum because momentum steals friction, but in the same way, friction can steal momentum. And when friction steals momentum, it leads to inevitable stagnation. And if you want to live a life worth living, if you want to make the most out of your God-given gifts, then life needs to have momentum. Life needs to be frictionless. Life needs to be fluid. Life needs to be a funnel, because in a funnel, everything moves in the same direction. Everything builds off of each other. With each thing you do, it reinforces another thing. So, how to make life a funnel, how to make life frictionless. First thing, you need to understand the current reputation you've built for yourself. Understand what your family thinks of you. Understand what your friends think of you. And I'm not saying to care about other people's opinions, because that always leads to disaster. But what I am saying is that you need to understand how you view yourself, who God calls you to be, and then how the world views you. And if those things don't align, if your reputation doesn't add up to what you thought, then it might be because you aren't living up to God's expectation. If you think you're skilled, if you think you're smart, if you think you're capable, if you think you're caring, yet people don't mention these things when you ask them what they think about you, or they say the opposite, then it might be because God placed this idea of you in your head in order for you to pursue, but for whatever reason you aren't moving toward it. And if how you view yourself is different from how the world views you, then there's friction. And the goal here isn't to change how people perceive you and see you because you care about their opinion. The goal here is to understand who God calls you to be, and then to remove anything that creates friction between who God calls you to be and how you actually present yourself in the world. And I'll give you guys an example. I went on this trip one time, met this girl, super sweet girl. We're talking. She's a teacher. She's also a model on the side. I thought, okay, that makes sense. She's pretty. But she's also a teacher. She's also pretty innocent. So these model photos must not be anything crazy. They must be pretty modest. And later on, we exchange Instagrams. And then I see her Instagram, I see her photos, I see some of the model photos, and it's the opposite of what I thought, pretty explicit. And then later on, we're on a phone call, I talked to her about it, I asked her, hey, why are there naked photos of you on Instagram? And she told me it was just her way of expressing herself, it was almost like an art. That's just how she sees it. But I told her and rebutted, just because you view your actions one way, that doesn't mean people see them the same as well. And once again, I'm not saying to care about other people's opinions, but understand how your actions look from an exterior point of view. Because if you just posted what you like to do, instead of naked photos of yourself, you'd attract a higher quality person in your life. Because when your character and your reflection align, it removes friction, because people no longer have to overcome this understanding of trying to understand who you are. Because they see you, perceive your character, hear your opinions, see your Instagram and your photos, and think, well, okay, that makes sense. Or they think, I don't know, something feels off, something feels wrong, it really doesn't align. It's one or the other. And you can't get mad at people for making judgment calls based off of a few things, because it's how the brain works. It's how your brain is wired. Your brain makes 35,000 choices a day, so it doesn't have the time to analyze everyone's life story, every waking moment, waste its time trying to find the one person out of the 100 that doesn't fit the stereotype. And I told her this, and she applied it to her life. And you could see the change in real time of how the world perceived her, the world's perception of her. You saw in how she treated herself, how people interacted with her, how people perceived her, and in how she made friends. And I did this in my life too. 99% of my gym content is taken down. Because I understood the type of person that I was attracting in my life may not be where I want to be in life. The type of person I would want in my life. And I still love fitness. I still want fitness to be a part of my life. I didn't take all the fitness content down. Because I still want to attract people that want to take care of their bodies and do cool things. Now, granted, fitness isn't currently a part of my life, but I still want it to be a part of my life. And I really don't care that much about the gym. The only reason I care about the gym is to inspire people to exercise, eat healthier, be better, and just move their bodies. Which gets into the next part, how to live a frictionless life, step 2. Right now, your character interacts with the world clearly. There is a clear and smooth interface between who you are and how the world perceives you and who God calls you to be. So if that's the case, if your character interacts with the world clearly, how can you get your body to interact with the world clearly? That is the next step, getting your body to have a smooth interface with the world. So there is no friction there. So how do we do this? How do you make your body not feel like crap 24/7 essentially? I'll tell you how. Look at how God designed the body, the human body. Look at how he meant for the body to interact with the world. And then just do that. And I'll give it to you. Number 1, eat whole foods, eat healthy. Number 2, exercise. Number 3, get outside. Number 4, fast. And when I say do these things, I don't mean sprinkle it in. I don't mean do it here and there. I mean be consistent. And it's easy. I'll show you. Number 1, eat whole foods. You already eat food, so just buy the right foods. Boom, easy done. Number 2, exercise. Just do a 30-minute super intense workout. Boom, easy done. Number 3, getting outside. Just walk outside for 15 minutes. And if you don't want to walk outside for 15 minutes, then I'd argue that just driving your car, windows down, breathing in fresh air, having the sun hit your face for 15 minutes can do you just as good. Boom, easy done. Number 4, fasting. You don't even have to fast for an entire day at first. Just do intermittent fasting. Just don't eat breakfast right away. Boom, easy done. And I know some of you guys might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I'm giving you all these steps to do. You might be starting from level 0. You're feeling a little bit stressed out. But don't worry, God's got the answer again. Add into your diet turmeric, thyme, and ginger. It's natural, it's a seasoning, they're all seasonings. They're soothing, they're relaxing. Some of you guys think you have anxiety when in reality, you're just eating the wrong foods. And another thing that people tend to have anxiety about is publicly expressing your opinion. But you need to publicly express your opinion or you're creating friction between the people that you want to invite in your life. A reason why I make these videos is to attract a certain type of person into my life. And it's worked. Granted, my videos don't get an incredible amount of views. I get really low views, but the quality of the person that I attract to me is incredibly high. I attract a high quality person even though my views are low. And I'd rather attract low amounts of high quality people than a high amount of people that quite honestly aren't on the same path as me. So if you agree with me, welcome to the team. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. We can just go our separate ways. You live your life, I'll live my life. I'm always open to hearing other people's opinions. I'm an open book. I'm open to change all the time. But a lot of people disagree with me simply based off of emotional reaction. Which once again, that's fine. You live your life based off of emotional reaction. I'll live my life based off of facts, logic, and reasoning, and we'll see what happens. But that's the thing. People like to make life choices based off of emotional thoughts, based off of emotion. When I chose my major, when I chose what I wanted to study in school, when I chose what job I wanted out of school, I didn't go based off of emotion and what I thought was easy in the moment. I went off of logic. So I chose engineering. One, engineering is applicable in every industry and market. Two, it's challenging, so it creates character. And three, God has always called me to be a designer. I've always been a designer. Whether I was drawing, whether I was doing graphic design, whether I was doing 3D design. I wanted to be a Lego designer when I was younger. And I was pretty serious about it too. Now granted, Lego has fallen off since then. Peak Lego was Season 2 Ninjago, Power Miners, Space Police, Atlantis. All the good stuff. But since then, they've fallen off. Who knows? Maybe if I worked for them, they wouldn't have fallen off. But we'll never know. But the point I'm making here is that I didn't just look at what makes money. I looked at what I enjoyed as a child, because what you enjoy as a child is where your God-given gifts shine through. Because as a kid, you're not really thinking about what makes money. You're just doing what comes natural. What comes naturally. And when you pursue a career based off what you enjoyed as a kid, as a child, you don't create friction in your life. You create purpose. You add purpose to your life. As long as you attract the right people along the way. As long as you attract people that uplift you instead of drag you down. But these people that you want to attract in your life, you can't attract them into your life if they don't know you exist. So location is another thing about creating a frictionless life. So, how do you pick a location? How do you pick a location to create a frictionless life? First, understand who God calls you to be. Become that person, reflect that person, then ask yourself, where are other people similar to me? Where are these people at? And then boom, you got your location. So now you go to that location. You're attracting people that are similar to you because how you view yourself, who God calls you to be, is the same as how the world views you. And people see you as such, so now they want to be a part of your life because they know you're similar to them. So now you've curated your friend group. You're all moving in the same direction. And it is this infinite turbo boost of building off of each other. So, that's how to build a frictionless life. That's how to make life a funnel. And I'll go over it again. I'll do it step by step. Number one, take care of your body so you don't have brain fog. Once you don't have brain fog, you can understand the person that God has called you to be. Once you understand the person that God has called you to be, if that's not how the world sees you, if that's not how you view yourself, if how you view yourself isn't the same as how the world views you, then you need to change because there's friction. And then once you become the person that God calls you to be and how you view yourself is the same as how the world views you, ask yourself, where are people similar to me? Where are they at? Go to that location, get a job based off of what you enjoyed as a kid, as a child, and then express your opinion when necessary in order to attract the right people even more. And then now you've created your friend group, you've curated your friend group, you're building off of each other. And boom, life's now a funnel. Everything's moving in the same direction. And God led you there the whole way. So that's how to make life a funnel, how to make life frictionless. But just because you've now made life frictionless, that doesn't mean friction can't reoccur in your life. And I'm going to talk about one of them, a thing that can create friction, even though you're trying to be frictionless. And that is texting. Texting is great for business. It's great for short conversations, but it's not so great for relationships. And on top of that, whenever I get a text, I have to take myself out of the moment in order to respond. And when you take yourself out of the moment, out of the current moment, you're losing momentum, you're creating friction. And it's not the same as an audio message or a phone call, because with an audio message or a phone call, I can at least hear your voice. There's no human connection with texting. Now, there's one way to do texting, which still works. And me and my mom do this. It's almost like my mom read my brain. She understands how my brains work and implemented it. But this is what we do. We do subtle check-ins, subtle catch-ups, and then when we meet in person, I get to tell her all the details, I get to tell her my stories, I get to tell her what I've been up to, we get to spend time together, we get to build the relationship. So I recommend not really texting. I recommend if you really need to talk to someone, audio message or phone call.